Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10th episode of Tuesdays with Tobe. My name is Tobe Frierson, and I am super excited to be back here again with you all today to bring forward what I hope to be a message of motivation and encouragement as we all continue to strive to be the best version of ourselves. If you didn't catch last week's message, it was titled, I Care, I Really Do. And I really want you all to go back over there and look at it and tell me, what do you care about? What are you spending your time, your efforts, your resources on? Or what types of people or what people are you spending those things on? And then what receipts do you have for it? A lot of us go around talking about things that we care about, but then there's not really any evidence. So that's what we touched on last week. But as we turn our attention to this week, I want to be able to give us something that actually all of us can be centered around. Every single one of us have this thing. We all use it very differently, or some of us actually use it sparingly, or we don't use it at all, and we need to be able to use it more. So today's topic is simply using your voice. As we do each week, before we get started, it's time for our family rules. Look behind me, ready, read. During Tuesdays with Tobe, we will use kind words, do your best, always be honest, forgive and forget, be happy, count your blessings, laugh at yourself, stay positive, and love one another. When I think about using your voice, I would certainly say our ability to use our voice, to express ourselves, and to speak up for ourselves when no one else will, probably has a lot to do with our upbringing or maybe even the region of the world in which we live. I know with me being a Southerner, that based off of social norms of the South, including gender roles, including how I'm viewed as an African-American female that's worked primarily in male-dominated spaces, having a voice hasn't always been valued, appreciated, or encouraged. Southern women sometimes have been expected to be very amicable and agreeable. You don't push against the grain, you don't challenge, and you don't ask a whole lot of questions. And this is certainly something I've encountered as most of my professional career has been what I said in male-dominated spaces. But not to just single out women and finding our voices, you could be a younger person watching today, and having a voice hasn't always been something that we attribute to children. Y'all ever heard the term, children are to be seen but not heard? Well, if that's how you were raised, then perhaps your voice has been stifled, and today I want to help all of us find our voice. However, even though we all have upbringings and even though we all have environments we're a part of, like the workspace I described earlier, we also have a deep, deep responsibility to ourselves to be able to have an opinion, express an opinion, and to be able to set some parameters about what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. What I mean by this is if you're students in a school setting, certainly if we're employees within a work setting, or even being a part of a family unit where you live in a home with multiple people, no one in any of those settings, school, work, home, is a mind reader. And since the people around you cannot read your mind, your ability to have a voice and to know what you like and what you don't like and what you're attracted to and what makes you fearful, not only your ability to know all those things, but your ability to tell the people that you interact with how you feel and what's going on with you, it's going to be key to your success. It's going to be key to your overall health and well-being. If people know how to interact with you because you've shared certain things, then that's going to make you more comfortable in the environments you're in. It's going to lead you also to the right environments, and it's going to provide a way of safety and protection for you. Finding your voice, in a sense, it creates automatic boundaries. So as you heard me list all these things, you may be thinking, okay, Tobe, I do have a voice, but I don't necessarily speak up. I don't really verbally contribute to the environments that I'm in. I don't tell people what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. How can I be better with that? Well, I'm so glad you asked. I have a few things that I think would absolutely help you find your voice. First, I would say don't be afraid that your voice, your thoughts, your opinions might present an opposing view. Many times our silence is because we don't want to quote unquote rock the boat. Some of us are okay with going along to get along because we like peace, right? A lot of people want to be amicable and agreeable. They are just not going to express an opposing view. However, if you hold back, say for instance, and you're the only person in the room that has that perspective, then your perspective could even be a valid point. But if you don't share, you've just detracted from that entire group. That group missed the opportunity to hear your opposing view and to perhaps have an opportunity to look at things differently because you brought your perspective to the table. So conquer your fear in this area and say, you know what? I might be the only one thinking this. I might be out here on an island by myself, but turn that into a positive for yourself, because an opposing view never counts you out from using your voice. And it actually brings a healthy perspective to the table, because it might be the only perspective of its type. The next thing I would say is, to help you find your voice, that you've got to be confident in the fact that you have something valuable to say. How do you know, Toby? You don't even know me. Well, if you're a student, take this for instance. You've studied your subject area, you've taken tests, you've proven yourself to have a great grasp on the content. Speak up. You should be heard. If you're an employee, you've been to the conference, you've been to the workshop, you've been properly trained, you've been doing the job for a number of years, you know what you're talking about. You know the system, you know the product, and you're the one who should be speaking when certain people start asking questions. Speak up. You should be heard. If you're the parent of a teenage child who's going through that, I know everything there is to know, you can't tell me anything, mom, dad, auntie, uncle, if they're going through that stage, if they're calling you old-fashioned and washed up and you're irrelevant to me at this point, parent, guardian, speak up. Speak up. You definitely have something valuable to contribute to that situation. Maybe take that phone, take that tablet, take the computer, let's straighten that attitude out. And teenagers, stop it. Like, this is a phase you're going through. You don't really believe these things about your parents. So with these three scenarios, it's an ownership moment at this point. You are highly qualified. You know what you're talking about, and that can't be stripped from you. So speak up, use your voice. And then lastly, what I would say is a defining reason for using your voice is that your voice is uniquely yours. Nobody has your background. Nobody has all the experiences you've had. Nobody has your temperament or your approach. Check this out. Someone else may have said the same thing in the meeting, the conference, whatever, an hour ago. But when you decided to open up and use your voice, you were winsome in your approach. You had so much passion behind how you said it. You provided a level of detail and clarity that the previous person did not. Maybe you're someone who is convincing and you were super convincing with how you presented the information. And now everyone is paying attention and actually having a dialogue about the same thing that was discussed an hour ago. Clearly, this means that you needed to be heard. Your voice is uniquely yours. Your style is uniquely yours. And if you keep fear from allowing you to use it, then everyone in the space that you occupy will miss out. So again, I hope you are convinced of the importance of using your voice. And maybe I should title this Finding Your Voice too, because they go hand in hand. I want you all to try this week, especially if you know you've been too quiet about too many important things. Let's get moving. Let's get started on overcoming our fears of having an opposing or an unpopular view. Let's also lean into the fact that, you know what? I have something valuable to say. I have a unique perspective. I have a set of experiences. And then 3, let's embrace the fact that your voice is unique and it's distinctly yours. You are all qualified, my friends, to use your voice. And so I definitely want to hear your stories. I want you to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to be back here next week with another message for you. Have a great day.